Hey guys, welcome back. We're now back at GTS RS Racing Simulation. We thought we'd have a quick chat about karting, why it's good for sort of race drivers who do car racing to get involved, what they can learn from it, and how our day went at Wilton Mill. We had a quick word after the day on camera, but we thought we'd just do a bit more at the end to discuss. If you're wondering what we've got here, it's green tea. Well, I've got green tea, matcha green tea.
I've got the same.
Yeah, you got the same. So
it's the best stuff.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Keeping healthy, you know, race drivers.
And warm.
Yeah, keeping warm. Yeah, because it was very cold at Wilton Mill. I genuinely, you know, I've done karting all my life, but nothing's worse than that first session when it's like -1 and the wind chill is on your hands and you come in the pits. You can't feel your hands, you can't take your lid off, and then you're in excruciating pain for about 10 minutes. I thought I was going to die, but I survived.
It actually felt like we had frostbite, and
yeah,
I thought, this is it. My fingers are up, I'm going to fall off.
Because you've not been in a car in those conditions.
I've never been in a car in those conditions ever. That was the first time, and it was a shock to the senses, really.
Yeah, you don't get that in your air-conditioned Cayman GT.
No.
But, yeah, so see, karting has got an interesting reputation in sort of the car racing circles because a lot of drivers come from karting, and you know, sort of people think they're quite aggressive and stuff like that. But it's such a great tool for drivers who in the off season can't get to test so much. Apart from the stuff about getting in shape, because it does help you get in shape because it's physically demanding. Yeah. And there are also certain aspects to kart driving which are sort of, I mean, personally I don't consider karting subservient to car racing. It's just a different discipline. But there are certain things that overlap. So for example, like loading the chassis. In a car you load the suspension when you're entering a corner because you want to sort of keep the car in that nice smooth transition when the weight's being put on the sort of outside tyres. And in a car, a lot of people, I think, mistakenly think you just flick them and then you put your accelerator down and go. But with karts, they work like springs themselves because they require the flex in the chassis to remove load from the inside rear tyre. So the principle of loading the chassis up as you enter the corner and then as you demand more from the kart mid-corner, they're very similar principles. But yeah, so Usman, you did some running that day, I did some running, you know, and we got through a lot of stuff. So how did it go for you?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I hadn't been in a kart for a while, so this was quite interesting in the fact that it was the X30, so, you know, a reasonably powerful kart. Having just done a test in a Cayman GT4 2 weeks ago, it's a massive difference in terms of sort of driving technique. So initially, I think I was just sort of relying on my sort of base level, not really driving it like a kart, but more just getting around as quickly as possible. And I found in the low grip conditions, we sort of were coming out of corners completely sideways and not, you know, scrubbing the kart and not really going really quickly. However, quickly after our discussion and sort of as the grip levels came back, we started working on a more kart specific technique, and you know, that's really important to be able to do that, not just say this is one way to drive and I'm going to apply that across the board in everything I do, but being able to adapt specifically to, you know, the equipment that you're driving, and, you know, being able to do those techniques.
Yeah, but that's why I think karting is such a useful tool for all sort of drivers, because part of being a race driver to me is being the complete driver. I would look at a guy like Schumacher, and Schumacher will pedal anything fast. He'll get in anything. He would go quick in a car, whatever. Senna, same sort of thing. It's drivers that have that inner confidence when they have an experience of different vehicles and being able to adapt to them. They seem to be able to elevate themselves beyond their sort of rivals, because a lot of drivers they get fearful about separate disciplines, and that sort of fear then bleeds into their general way of driving into things that they drive quite well. As soon as something goes awry, or maybe they change team, you change your brand of car that you're driving if you're multi-make racing. So with karting, it's about expanding your horizons and having an inner belief that there's nothing really outside of your ability level. Yep. And that's what's great about karting. But yeah, at Wilton, obviously, if you'll see on the video, the grip was particularly low, and it's very easy to lose the rear end and you start scrubbing speed. So some of the things that we work on with drivers is being able to maintain a balance of the car, especially on the exit. and it's quite physical, like we were talking about.
It really is.
Sometimes the kart wants to brake. You'll notice karts want to brake, and sometimes you don't see it because you see a driver and they're driving, they look relaxed, but they're holding the kart.
You're having to really
you're activating your lats, your arms, your shoulders. So yeah, I mean, what we want to do with drivers is give them the opportunity to learn all these things in karts and build up an inner belief and inner confidence, because that's a fantastic tool, I think for drivers.
Oh no, yeah, I mean, of course, with karting, it's we've got so many laps in during the day as well. So we're going session after session. The track was fairly light anyway, so we got a lot of clear running, and then we just kept improving as well. Having debriefs with each other. And we just built on that. So
yeah, and that's the thing about karting is, while some people might perceive it as expensive, but you get a day at Wilton and it's clear, you can hit 80 to 100 laps, maybe 25 litres of fuel, a set of tyres that maybe they were from your last race weekend. You're spending 100, 200 quid maximum. If you've got your own gear, if you're renting, it might be different. And you get a massive amount of running. That's why karting at the front and is very particularly quite tight, because of the amount of practice you can get for the money that you spend. But for race drivers who want to improve all round, get better physically, because as you know, yesterday when we were testing, it wasn't particularly grippy, so your body isn't taking so much of a pounding. But in the summer, when the grip's down, you get 10, 15 laps in, your forearms go, your hands go,
you'll feel it,
your neck goes, it's quite embarrassing when your neck goes, so you're driving around like that, but it's a positive thing, and we hope drivers can benefit from it. If you work with us, we've got a lot of experience, so that's what we want to do, is make drivers more complete.
Yeah, I think as part of the overall package, it's invaluable. I mean, you look at all the top drivers in the world, and there's very few that haven't done any karting. There's I can't think of any off the top of my head, to be honest. A lot of them have either raced or tested, in karts for obvious reasons. So for us, it's essential to have that as part of our training program.
Well, I'd actually consider them, and I'd consider them still karters.
Absolutely.
Specifically, Alonso has his own kart circuit in Spain, and he does his own schools with kids, but you'll always see him doing laps in a KZ or an X30. Max Verstappen still involved with the local kart scene, particularly because his dad is still involved, Jos. I mean, I remember watching, and the thing about Max is I remember watching him at the 2013 World Championship at PFI, and he was frighteningly good, unreal, you wouldn't believe. I remember the early race, I remember saying to a friend of mine, I said, if they don't get him now, he's gone. If they don't destroy him, and the second and third started battling, and that was it. He was gone, disappeared down the road. But when you watch, you see Max Verstappen or someone like that in an F1 car, and it's sometimes tricky to see why they're good. Brazil, in its circumstances where it's wet,
I think
you can see it.
That was a standout.
But in a car, the balance that kid had, the understanding of the dynamics of the car and how to drive fast. And this is an important point I'd like to pick up on. There was an interview with Jos in 2012, and I know I'm rambling on, but I find it quite interesting. And there's two types of karts for those watching who don't really understand. You've got direct drive karts, which are single gear, and KZ karts, which have 6 gears. They're more powerful, the KZ karts. But at the time, the single gear stuff, you have a lot of young drivers doing it. And there's a particular style, you want to keep the RPMs quite high because you don't have the gears. And in KZ you do. And Jos, if I recall correctly, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, he said what was good about Max was he didn't just stay in the single gear class and then go to the geared class, the KZ, and then say, the style's wrong, I can't drive. He was one of the only young drivers that actually went over to the KZ geared class, drove against the best drivers and won. Because he was able to adapt himself for the circumstances. So it's easy to say, it's the karting that's why Max is good. But it's actually his behaviour within karting was more important, I guess, than the karting itself. And that's what you want to benefit from karting. It gives you the opportunity to adapt, to change, to learn new things. So, what do you make of that?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, with the added benefit of exactly what you mentioned before with the conditioning and the physicality. Again, I don't think we were completely conditioned for karting.
But, too heavy.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but you know, the positive aspects of it are you know, is huge. There's so much depth into it, and then obviously looking at sort of micro driving techniques like we were discussing.
Yeah, because they are micro in a sense. They're such small changes that you can do in a car that have such a big difference.
Yeah, just touching on sort of the seating position that we were talking about. Again, it wasn't ideal, but so basically what happened was Alan and I are a little bit different in terms of height. I'm a bit smaller, so obviously in the kart your seat position and sort of your controls with your feet, basically how far you are from the brake and the throttle, it's quite important, and also it affects your sort of centre of gravity as well. So obviously there's a bit of a height difference with us. We had the seat further back, which was okay, I could drive it, although I was struggling a little bit, just
to balance the throttle where I had a bend in my legs, which is because in karting you need the seat in the right place. And it sounds so trivial, so obvious, but it does make a dramatic difference. With me, I like it in a particular way. It deviates slightly from the manufacturer's ideal specs because I think I've got quite long arms. But for me, it's perfect. But for Usman, it wasn't. And this is the importance of, like, when you're testing together as we were, you make these compromises. But again, it goes to show, like, if you are a driver, you have to communicate that this is how you like it. You shouldn't be scared to say this is not right. Can we improve this? There's certain ways you can say things, because some drivers will just be a bit whiny and go, I don't like it. If you're making a positive statement, and acknowledging reality, then that's fine. You can make those changes. So next time we're going, we'll set up the car specifically for you, so we can then make those changes, because it's very difficult to make the changes in the driving if you're not 100% comfortable.
Yeah. However, it did present the opportunity for me to
learn new things,
basically, and sort of adapt, because it can happen sometimes. The car will not be perfect in all conditions. Sometimes you'll be compromised in terms of these things, so it gives you the opportunity to understand if it's outside of that perfect zone, what would the kart behavior feel like. So that was, in a way, it worked out better. Yeah,
it worked out. Yeah, exactly. So sort of like it's maximising the opportunity of the day as well.
Yeah.
So no, we had a really positive experience, I think, and obviously karting is part of the coaching package we offer here at GTSRS. From sort of we do the karting, we've got the simulator base, now we've got the Ginetta race car. So we want to put a full package together so we can work with drivers. They can benefit from all of these areas of driving to be sort of complete elite drivers that they can be. So yeah, I thought we'd wrap it up here, and like to say thank you for everybody who's watching, and if you subscribe down below, check out our website and everything we offer, and we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you.